What is going on, Pats Nation, and welcome back into another video. As always, I am your host, Colby Cochran, also known as Patriots Global, and baby, we are about to kick it with another mock draft. Man, I'm so excited to get into it with you guys. Look, you guys were pretty pissed at me for the last mock draft. I mean, I don't think I've ever gotten so much hate on a mock draft before. I personally didn't think it was all that bad. It's probably because I went Will Campbell, spoiler alert, with the first pick, and as soon as that pick was made, I knew I was going to get flamed, but in last week's mock draft, we did very specifically a no-trade mock draft, meaning that every single original pick that the Patriots had, we stayed pat and we picked. Whatever came to us ultimately came to us. Today, it's going to be a little bit different because today we can actually trade. Now, my philosophy with today's video is ideally, I'd like to either do one of three things. I'd like to trade down in the first round, trade down in the second round, or trade back into the first. It really all depends. Make sure I turn on this do not disturb so we don't get annoyed during the entire live stream. But that's one of those three things is ultimately what I'm going to look to do in today's mock draft. Now, before we get into that, there is something new to the channel that I wanted to let you guys know about. And that is that we have officially added memberships. Now, for those wondering, if you are a Patreon member, this is different. If you still want to come on during live streams, during our live watch party, you do still have to be a Patreon member. There's a link in the description box below for that. Maybe we'll get rid of Patreon, switch it to YouTube. That's still under debate. But if you want to come on the show, that is still via Patreon. What you get if you become a member here on YouTube is the following. It's not much at all, okay? Look, it's $4 a month. And what you get is that, number one, you get a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments and live chat. What this means is that if you comment on a video, you comment on a YouTube short, you comment on a community post, or you comment here on a live show next to your username, it is going to have the official Patriots Global logo next to your name. That will let everybody know that you are a true member of the Patriots Global family. What you'll also get on top of becoming a member is that you will get custom emojis that you can use to comment in the comment section on videos, community posts, YouTube shorts, here on live streams that are only exclusive to members. As you guys can see here, we have the Patriots Global face. Those who follow me from TikTok know me on the AFC East Roundtable. You'll know this iconic photo. Next, we also have the Patriots Global logo, if you want to comment that. We have a Mike Vrabel swap to the New England Patriots, and we also have a Drake Maye swap to the New England Patriots. These are the custom emojis you can use only by becoming a member. The more people that become a member, the more emojis that YouTube actually allows us to add. So I have a lot of really cool emojis that I still want to add, but right now we are limited until we get more members. And then on top of that, members also get shout outs. When you do become a member, you type in the live chat, it actually shows me that you are a member and shows me for how long you have also become a member. So if you guys want to support the channel, you guys want to get a couple of cool benefits that come with being a member, make sure you guys go ahead and join right now on the channel. If you are joining via phone, unfortunately, it doesn't work on the app. You have to either go to Safari or go on your laptop, and then you can see right here, it'll say join. You just click join, and you can do it via PayPal. All of that supports the channel. And again, you get some really cool benefits from it. On top of that, you also get priority reply to comments. Your channel name, so for instance, I'm logged in with my personal account, your channel name and member status will be publicly visible and shared by the channel. So pretty cool thing that we're adding. Make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and let's hop right into this mock draft. Let me pull up the simulator. All right, here we go. So let's put this, make sure it's not on turbo. Let's make sure this is on slow. And we will just start this thing up and see how it goes. All right. And let's start. So who goes first? Abdul Carter goes first. Cam Ward. Travis Hunter goes off the board too. Okay, so this is a start that I think is like the worst nightmare for Patriots fans, this is very realistic. Like, this is very realistic that this could happen. There are rumors that both the Browns and the Titans want quarterback, but there's also rumors that the Browns and Titans would be fine going with trading down or selecting Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. So this to me is not unrealistic, especially if you're the Titans getting arguably the best player in the draft. You know you're not going to be good next year anyway. Wait till next year to get a quarterback in a much better quarterback class anyway. So unfortunately for the Patriots, though, you lose out on Abdul Carter. You lose out on Travis Hunter, meaning that the people you have standing right here for you would be Tedero McMillan, Mason Graham, Ashton Genty, Will Campbell. And honestly, I mean, Armand Membu, the Patriots have been heavily linked back to him. Honestly, there's no player here that I feel comfortable with taking, right? If you have Abdul Carter here, Travis Hunter, you have an argument that you stay and pick. But with neither of those guys there, I don't like the value. People will say, go offensive line. People will say, take Tedero McMillan right here. I like Ted. I would not be mad about the pick of Tedero McMillan in the slightest. But me personally, I'm not big on going Ted this high up, especially at 4. I didn't love his 40 time. Not that 40 time tells you what a player is going to be per se, but I do think because of that, his stock is going to drop a little bit. For those who don't know, he was also on a podcast recently, like an interview. And I don't know why he said this. He was just enjoying a lunch, and I think he was chilling a little bit too much. He said, and I quote, "I don't watch film. I don't like watching film." That's not going to help his draft stock either. You don't like to watch film. You don't like to look back and figure out where you can be better. You just want to go out there and ball on the field. A lot of teams, a lot of fan bases, they're not going to like that. So I'm not out on him, but I don't like him here. Let's see what trades we have. By the way, shout out to everybody in the chat. Also, big shout out to Luke. Show this. Big shout out to Luke, who just became a new YouTube member. Big shout out to Luke for cementing himself as into the Patriots global family. But not just that, Luke, you have cemented yourself as the first ever person to ever become a member. Something that I'm also going to do, I'm still working out the details. So those who are watching right now, you get a little bit of an early sneak preview, is that I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I'm going to do a giveaway of the New England Patriots official draft hat. And we're going to give this away probably the week before the 2025 NFL draft. And in order to be put into the mix, you have to be a YouTube member or you have to gift someone a YouTube membership. That's something cool that you can also do, is that if you become a member, you can also gift other people memberships as much as you want. If you become a member, that's one entry. And then if you gift someone a membership, that's another entry. Let's say you gift someone you gift 3 people a YouTube membership. That means you have three opportunities into the draft, into the giveaway. So that's something cool we're going to be doing, but I'm still working out the kinks. I'll let you guys know how to enter and when it becomes a little bit more official. But also shout out to Mick Goat, also became a YouTube member. You guys officially have the Patriots Global logo next to your name. When you comment, you also finally get access to the exclusive emoji. So you guys can start using those right now. Spam them in the chat. Shout out to Luke. Shout out to Mick Goat for becoming YouTube members. Like I said, only $4 a month helps the channel out and you get perks. Big shout out to you guys cementing yourselves into that Patriots Global family. Also want to give a big shout out to Trey, who comes in here with a $5 donation, says, at least you don't post mocks on your IG. Those people would rip your ass to shreds if they see them, if you thought people on YouTube were bad. Yeah, Twitter's worse. You think Instagram's bad? You think YouTube's bad? Twitter's even worse. That's where all the, keyboard warrior kids who refuse to do their math homework are really going at you because you selected a player that they don't like. Trey comes back in here with a $5 donation, said that quote from T-Mac is heavily out of context. It's been established that he said that about 3 or 4 years ago. That could have easily changed. So maybe it was. Honestly, I didn't do my research afterwards, seeing how long ago it was. But this is something that just came out on social media recently. So it seemed like it was something that was recently. Maybe it was from a while ago, but nonetheless, maybe things have changed. Maybe they haven't. All we know is what context has been given to us. And that context is the fact that he did say he doesn't like to watch film. Now, I'm sure he'll be asked about it at some point. Maybe things have changed, but at least right now, all we know is that he does not like watching film. But again, shout out to Trey for both donations, and shout out to Luke and McGoat for becoming YouTube members here on Patriots Global. But like I said, let's trade down here. I think this is a beautiful spot to trade down. We got the Jets at 7. I don't think that's realistic. I don't think the Patriots will want to trade with an in-division rival. I think they'll use it as leverage to say, hey, this is what the Jets are offering us. What is your offer? They also have the Arizona Cardinals, the Cincinnati Bengals, and then I feel like we're getting a little bit too low. Now, the New York Giants would be interesting here. I actually don't think that would be completely unrealistic. They drafted Travis Hunter. So how crazy would it be if the New York Giants traded back up with the Patriots? Now, the Giants don't have another first-round pick. Their next pick is in the second round at 34, so they'd have to give the Patriots an absolute haul. The Patriots wouldn't have a first-round pick unless they traded back in. But what if the Giants, when Travis Hunter traded back in and then got Shedeur? I mean, now the Giants are cooking with gas, but I'm going to go more here with the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not exactly sure who they're trading up for in this case, but I think 11 is a nice sweet spot for the Patriots to where they can potentially still get one of these playmakers on the offensive line, maybe on the defensive side of the football. But you trade down a little bit, you get draft compensation for later on in this draft, maybe even next year's draft. And so I like that. So the Patriots will get 11. San Francisco will get 4, and I'm using the trade value chart because I want this to be as realistic as possible. So 11 is worth 1,250 points, and the Patriots is worth 2,200. So let me see. So 2,200 and for those who don't know what the trade value chart is, it's like a professional chart that was made and the value that each pick has. So it makes your picks a lot more realistic when you're making trades and such. And then I said 11 was 1,250. So we need about 950 back. So where is San Francisco's second rounder? So San Francisco's next pick is at 43. So I think we could get a next year's first. So we could get a next year's first and probably something. Can we get a third? Oh, that's probably not going to be accepted. All right, let's try this. So the Patriots would be they'd be trading the 4th pick. And in return, they'd be trading down to 11 and getting pick 100 and a 2026 first-round pick. Let's offer and see what they say. All right, there we go. We got a trade accepted. So the New England Patriots are officially trading from the 4th pick down to 11 with the San Francisco 49ers. The Patriots, again, they get a 2026 first-round pick in next year's draft, which is expected to be significantly better on top of getting pick 100 in this year's draft. Another top 100 pick for the Patriots. I think that this, given how the board has fallen, is an absolute no-brainer. I love this. I don't even think the 49ers are going to be good next year, so that's probably going to be a high to mid-round first pick too. All right. Who do the 49ers go? They go Mason Graham. All right, so they get the number 1 interior defensive lineman. That actually makes a lot of sense given who they lost. Honestly, this board from PFF is falling the most realistic that I've ever seen. Will Campbell makes a lot of sense there. Oh, Armand Membu falls right before the Patriots too. This board has not exactly been nice to the Patriots, so you trade down from 4 to 11, and in that process, we've lost Tetherall McMillan, Ashton Genty, Tyler Warren, Will Campbell, and Armand Membu. So let's see who else is still on the board here at 11. Oh, Amarian Hampton would be a fun pick here at 11, but I'm going to get killed in the comments if I do that. Jahad Campbell, I don't think that makes sense for the Patriots here just because I don't think they need another linebacker. I would love to take Mike Green here. That's my second edge rusher in this class. I love Mike Green. I think he's going to be a great edge rusher in the NFL, but there are some character concerns. For those who don't know, he like stalked his ex-girlfriend. Now, supposedly this was back in high school. But nonetheless, though there are green flags with Mike Green, I do wonder if the Patriots and Mike Vrabel, they'd be out on him given those potential character concerns. Someone who I'm a big fan of is Donovan Ezeruku. He's from Boston College. This guy has balled out over his 3-year college tenure. Also, getting a guy from Boston College, bringing him back home, I'm a big fan of that. 6'2", 247 pounds, only 21 years old. Love his high football IQ too. I think, Mike Vrabel will love a guy like that too, who just knows where to be and knows how to beat his opponents by just simply being smart. But Ezeruku is a smaller outside linebacker type edge rusher who can struggle with the power aspect of the game. However, his quick, smooth styled paired with his high football IQ and some very nice bend make him an ideal 3-4 pass rusher type of defender to draft on day 2. So again, maybe not, this was probably a little bit early, but I mean, a 10.1% run stop rate, an 18.2% pass rush rate. You mix his ability to be an every down defensive lineman with his high football IQ. And this is a guy that I would love to see the Patriots target, but again, maybe a little bit high. Let's look at O-line. If not, I'm going to make a pick that I don't think a lot of people are expecting. Let's look at tackle. So we got, okay. So we got Josh Simmons on the board still. We got Kelvin Banks also on the board. Now, a lot of people are coming at Kelvin Banks because he's 6'4", 320. More specifically, people don't like that his arm length is a little bit short. So some people are projecting him to be a guard. His arm length was, I believe, 33 inches. Let me make sure. So yeah, Kelvin Banks' arm length is 33 and a half inches. So he very well can be a tackle and do it at a high level, considering there's multiple guys in the league who are very good tackles who have 33-inch arms. So I'm not worried about Kelvin Banks being a guard here. But honestly, if we could get Josh Connerly or Ariante Ursary in the second, maybe even double up on an Ozzie Trapillo there, I wouldn't be against it. So honestly, I think at 11, given the fact that all of the high-end wide receivers are off the board, I'm going to go a different direction. Now, everybody wants Matthew Golden because he ran the fast 40. He had a good combine. He's 6 foot, 195 pounds, 21 years old. PFF says that Golden is a talented player whose movement skills should translate well to the NFL. His advanced avenues of success, whether through beating press, impressive footwork, after the catch ability, or kick return powers, make him a player who could be a high-end wide receiver too in the league. Guys, I don't think this is a hot take, but I think a couple years down the line, when we look back at the 2025 draft, we are going to say that the best wide receiver to come out of this draft class was out of Ohio State by the name of Emeka Egbuka. I think he will also fit perfectly in Josh McDaniels' offense. I think he fits like a glove. Also, coming from Ohio State produces receivers every single year that end up being the most NFL ready and the best receivers come out of the draft class. I mean, look at the best receivers that come out of the recent years. If they're coming from Ohio State, you know that they're going to translate. Now, I don't think that he has the highest ceiling as some of these receivers, but I think that you're going to get low-end wide receiver 1 to very high wide receiver 2 play from Emeka Egbuka. I think that he has, in my opinion, the highest floor out of all the receivers projected to go in the first round. PFF says that there seems to be some draft fatigue with Egbuka, who has been talked about as an NFL prospect for 3 years. Don't fall for it. He's a high floor, versatile, and savvy receiver as a borderline wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. I think sometimes we overcomplicate things. Everybody thinks of recency bias. If a guy has been good for so long and talked about for so long, there's a reason that he's done so. I mean, a contested catch rate of 59.1%. He gets open against man. Yards per route run, 2.51. This is a guy that I really think would thrive in New England. I'm going to go Emeka Egbuka, and the Patriots get their next generation of wide receiver. I also think that Egbuka learning behind somebody like Stephon Diggs could be very, very valuable. So let's speed this up a little bit. So far we went Emeka Egbuka. I'm hoping to get a tackle here. Shout out to DF Forever with a $2 donation. Said, thanks for grabbing my super chat at Roundtable. Hey, DF, I got you. You know, that's my job at Roundtable, making sure that none of the super chats, you know, don't go without being noticed. All right, so next pick up here for the Patriots at 38. Let's see who went before. So Shador falls to the second. Some people will say that's unrealistic. He's probably going to be a first-round pick, but it was reported a couple of months ago that the majority of NFL teams view him as a second-round pick. But Alec Ayomanor goes right before the Patriots. Not a fan of him. I don't think he has a high ceiling. I think he's more of a wide receiver 3 in my mind. Maybe his ceiling is like a wide receiver 2, but Ayomanor is not a guy that you're going to see me mock. Jack Besh, that's a guy that I like. He went 2 picks before. Gray Zabel went. Gray Zabel would have been a beautiful, beautiful pick here at 38. Josh Connerly went off the board. Marion Hampton goes right at the end of the first. Kelvin Banks went at 23. So it looks like we should have one guy here, and we do. So Donovan Jackson is another guy I wouldn't hate for the Patriots to grab if all of the tackles are off the board. Donovan Jackson is a guy that some project is going to be more of an interior offensive lineman in the league, but he can play tackle. I actually think he played more interior offensive lineman play in college than he did tackle, but he played more tackle like towards the end of the 2024 season. And so some are speculating, hey, you know, he might have that versatility to play interior or at tackle. So that's a guy that I wouldn't mind taking a chance on, considering the Patriots need help everywhere on the O-line. But let's not overcomplicate this. Let's go Ariante Ursary. If the Patriots can get him here, if they have to pick between him or Josh Connerly, I think that's the perfect situation for the Patriots in the second round if they ultimately do not get a tackle in the first. Now, Ursary, to me, is more of a guy that's better as a run blocker than he is as a pass protector. If you are looking for an offensive tackle, more specifically a left tackle, that is going to be better as a pass blocker than a run blocker, you're more focused on protecting Drake Maye's blind side, then the guy that you want to go and grab is Will Campbell. Now, Will Campbell is a very good all-around offensive lineman who, by the way, Mike Vrabel said, I believe it was today or yesterday, he said that, you know, Will Campbell, he's gone up against some of the highest competition level in college football and has never had issues. So why would he have issues now? Which is something I've been trying to tell you guys. So it does sound like Mike Vrabel and the Patriots do view Will Campbell as a tackle. But again, if you want the tackle, the left tackle that's going to protect your quarterback's blind side, you want to go Will Campbell. If you don't necessarily care about the pass protection side, you're okay with getting a guy that's a little bit more average. He's still developing from that standpoint, but is going to be one hell of a run blocker, then Ariante Ursary is your guy. And right now on the board, he is the best guy that is still left here. 6'6", 330 pounds. PFF says that Ursary brings alluring size and length at the tackle position for the NFL. He has good hands, an explosive first step forward, and quick footwork to be an impactful zone run blocker, which we know is what the Patriots are going to run. But his naturally high-waisted build impacts his leverage and may inhibit him from keeping NFL rushers in front of him. Just for a little bit more context, he allowed 1 sack this past season, 1 quarterback hit, and 10 quarterback hurries. Nonetheless, a massive upgrade over what the Patriots have had over the last couple of seasons. He's a day one plug-and-start player. So let's go Ariante Ursary. And right now, I feel really, really confident about what the Patriots have done. One thing I wish you could do is still see the players that were on the board here for PFF. That's something I wish you could do. Because I have interest in trading back in here, but who do I want to trade in with? Green Bay, I have interest trading back in with. Because I want to get an edge rusher here in the second. Jaden Higgins goes off the board. Azarie Thomas goes off the board. Sharon Vrabel goes off the board. Damn. Shoot. I meant to trade with them. Sorry. We can trade the Chargers. I think that also makes sense. So if they give me 55, I'll give them 69. And can I get away with 144? Nah. All right, what about 106? All right. Wow, that is a massive, massive difference. That's crazy. All right. So Patriots trading back here into the second. We're looking to get an edge rusher. If all else fails, there is another guy that I am looking for that I think would be a difference maker offensively. But we're getting 55, and the Chargers are getting 69 and 106. So let's offer that trade. They accept, and the Patriots are back on the board. So I want to look at edge rushers, but if all else fails, I'm actually really interested in somebody like Quinshon Judkins. Now, a lot of people might be upset that we're going running back this early. It sounded like Mike Vrabel might not necessarily be as high on this Patriots running back core as maybe some of us are. And Quinshon Judkins is my guy. He is easily a top 5 running back in this draft class. I still think he has a lot of untapped potential. He's a guy that has some speed to him, but he's more of put his shoulders down, run through a mother effer, which we've seen the Patriots love those kind of guys. He's definitely raw when it comes to pass protection and the receiving game. It's not that he can't do those things, but it's more so that he is still developing there. So Quinshon Judkins is definitely a guy that I'm interested in taking. We also know that they have met with Dylan Sampson. The Patriots have been heavily linked back to him. Let me make sure there's nobody from the interior O-line that I'm missing out on. No. Any tackles that can play interior? No. At least not good value here. So let's look at the edges we have. So we got Jack Sawyer. That's a guy that I think the Patriots would love. Jared Ivey, I'm not that big on. Kyle Kennard, I don't hate. I'm not huge on Josiah Stewart. I do like Aladejo in the later rounds. But you know what? We are going to make this a let the chat pick. We're going to get you guys a little bit involved here. We traded back into the second round, which the Patriots have more than enough draft picks. They do need to kind of consolidate some of these picks. They're not going to draft 15 players. But we're going to kick it to you, Chad. Do you want the Patriots? By the way, this is our board so far. We want Emeka Egbuka traded down in the first from 4 to 11 with the 49ers. Got an extra pick. We actually got exactly pick 100. And we also got a 2026 first-round pick. We go Egbuka when we trade down, and then in the second with our original pick, we go tackle Ariante Ursary and address the starting left tackle position. So, Chad, do you want to go running back Quinshon Judkins here, or do you want to go to the defensive side and address the edge position with Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State, chat? We're going to kick this to you guys. Oh, wow. I feel like I'm seeing everybody go. Let's see. I got to scroll up. Sawyer, Judkins, Sawyer, Judkins, Jack Sawyer. Oh, this is tough, but I think Sawyer won. I think Sawyer won here. I'm a big Judkins fan, but we kicked it to the chat, and the chat wanted to go Jack Sawyer. I think you could go either way, but looking at the edge position here real quick, I just want to reference this. I think after Jack Sawyer, I don't want to say there's a massive fall off, but for me, there is a little bit of a fall off. I think you're getting into the next tier guys after Jack Sawyer. I think if you want that high motor difference maker, then I think edge is where you want to go now. Also, I think the Patriots need help at edge. Harold Landry is not your future. He's also more of a cleanup guy. He's not a number one guy. Keon White sounds like he's going to be on this team guaranteed based off of how Mike Vrabel's talking about him. He also is a guy that I think is going to fill in that Dietrich Wise role. I don't think he's a full-time edge rusher. I think he's someone who you want to find his mismatches. He's an edge rusher. He's an interior defensive lineman. Keon White was actually one of the highest graded pass rushers from the interior of the defensive line this past season. So again, a guy you want to play all over the defensive line. The Patriots need that number one guy. They need a guy on this D-line that can really pin his ears back and rush the passer with a high motor. And Jack Sawyer is that guy. Some might say that this is a little bit high for him. He's not guaranteed to be there in the third, especially with the amount of edge rushers that have been flying off the board already in this mock draft. I think Jack Sawyer very well could be a second-round pick. I don't think that's a hot debate to say. I know that, like PFF, they have him as more of like a third-round pick, but from what I've seen from him, especially towards the end of this past season at Ohio State, what he did in the playoffs, the motivation this guy has, the dog mentality he has, the fact that he performs on the field, but also the leadership, the mentality he brings off the field and in the locker room. I think teams are really going to like that, and that could bump him up to a second-round pick. I don't think that's, a hot take whatsoever. So we're going to go Jack Sawyer here, a guy that has gotten significantly better on a year-to-year basis. You guys know that I absolutely love players who have gotten better each and every single year, because what that tells me is that you have untapped potential. That tells me that the coaching that you're being given every single year, you are listening, you are training outside of practice and looking to get better. So I think that Jack Sawyer is on an upward trajectory. That's exactly what I want for my players. A little bit more of a low run stopping rate, 5.1%. That is below average. I'm not all that worried. The Patriots have other guys on that D-line that can stop the run. They have really addressed the linebacker position with guys that are able to stop the run. And when you look at Mike Vrabel's style of defense, he doesn't want guys all over the defensive line that provide no pass rush upside and are simply just there to stop the run. He doesn't want that. He's going to get cornerbacks. He's going to get safeties. He's going to get linebackers that can come up and stop the run. He wants his defensive linemen to make sure that they can get to the quarterback, and that is exactly what Jack Sawyer is going to give you. 10 sacks this past year at Ohio State, played at a high level, 16 quarterback hits, 38 hurries, and 6 batted passes. Love this pick for the Patriots. This truly is one of my guys. All right. Actually, maybe we should speed this up a little bit. I could see the Patriots also trading down with one of these third-round picks. We'll see which one, but they don't have a fourth-rounder right now, so I think ideally the Patriots trade down with one of these thirds, get a fourth, and then obviously they have some sevenths. So just to kind of reset the board here, Patriots trade down in the first. They go wide receiver Emeka Egbuka. Again, a guy who has such a high floor, but also doesn't have a low ceiling. He's going to be a high-end wide receiver 2, low-end wide receiver 1. That's exactly what the Patriots need, and his style of play fits Josh McDaniels' offense, and learning behind Stephon Diggs, I think, would be so valuable for someone like Egbuka. We also know that Ohio State produces those receivers, so great pick here by the Patriots. In a trade down, they get a future first-round pick and another top 100 pick by doing so. Then you go Ariante Ursary at left tackle. You get your future guy over on that left side. And then you get your high motor pass rusher by trading back into the second round with Jack Sawyer. So far, loving this mock draft for the Patriots with them going simply best player available. Let's see what the chat says. Sawyer's a great pick. Yeah, that's not happening. And people are upset. Can we not mess around with these non-tackles, please? If Diggs doesn't get number 8, will he get number 19? Well, he posted on his Instagram the other day asking people, what he should post on. Or not what he should post on, but rather what number should he be? He said no to number 1, by the way. So for those who are saying, hey, Stephon Diggs should be number 1, Diggs said he will not be number 1 because Jalen Polk is number 1. And he said, and I quote, that Jalen Polk is about to go off this season. So I don't know. Maybe the Patriots already got their wide receiver 2. Maybe they already do. Get into some of these super chats before we continue. Trey comes in here with a $2 donation saying, and the rage from the comments begins. It's mock draft season, man. Like once draft season comes along, I just can't look at the comments as much as I usually do because it's just filled with people telling me how stupid I am and how much I suck and I don't know anything, all because I didn't pick their favorite prospects. So spoiler alert, the Patriots also aren't going to do every move that you want them to make. So, I guess the Patriots draft is about to be terrible also. My boy Emmett comes in here with a $10 donation. Okay. That's my boy right there. Says, what are your thoughts on Holland Pierce? Honestly, I don't hate Holland Pierce. I'm not as high on Holland Pierce as some other people are, but he's a good player. I wouldn't mind having him. Another big shout out to Luke and McGoat for both becoming YouTube members. For those who don't know, we just added memberships. So make sure you guys go ahead, check it out on the channel. If you guys go to the homepage on YouTube, unfortunately, you have to either go to Safari or use it on your laptop in order to become a YouTube member. For some reason, it doesn't have it on the mobile app, but we did just add memberships. It's only $4 a month, and by doing so, you get a loyalty badge next to your name. What that means is that you get the official Patriots Global logo next to your name whenever you comment on this channel, on YouTube Shorts, community posts, videos, live streams, in the live chat. You'll have that Patriots Global logo next to your name. Becoming a member is the only way to do so. On top of that, you also get custom emojis to use in the live chat and in the comment section. So far, we got the Patriots, famous Patriots Global logo face. We also have the Patriots Global logo. We have Mike Vrabel swapped in a New England Patriots, uniform here. Patriots Global, or not Patriots Global, but New England Patriots apparel. We got Drake Maye as a emoji you can also use. You also get member shoutouts, and you get priority reply to comments. So make sure you guys consider becoming a member. Only $4 a month. You get benefits, and it supports us tremendously. Let's continue this thing on. So we're up here in the third. And let's just see who's on the board. So Mason Taylor is right here. And that could be the future tight end for the Patriots. I do wonder, though, if Mike Vrabel would be high on him, just considering he doesn't really have any blocking upside. He's just really a pure receiver, but his gauntlet was absolutely amazing, to say the least. I mean, if you guys go back and you look at the gauntlet of Mason Taylor, you're going to see why this guy can be one of the best receiving threats at tight end in the NFL within a few years. Could double up at tackle also. We got Anthony Belton. We got Wyatt Milam. Wyatt Milam could be tackle versatility while also subbing in as an interior offensive lineman, as some project him to be in the NFL level. We could also look at the running backs here. So you got Blue. Blue ran the best 40-yard dash out of all running backs in this class. You could go later rounds and go with someone like Trevor Etienne, who we know the Patriots met with. He had an okay Senior Bowl. I wouldn't say he did anything crazy. You could also go RJ Harvey here. This is, pretty decent value. This is around where he's going to go. RJ Harvey, pretty good running back, but he's more of a receiving threat too. So if you really want to load up on offense, RJ Harvey would be a guy to do that. Also like Joshua Farmer here and Jordan Phillips in the interior of that defensive line. But we said best player available. That's what today's mock draft is all about. Going best player available for the needs of the team. And you have Hunter Henry. He's aging. He's been dealing with more injuries over the last couple years. You brought back Austin Hooper on a one-year deal. He's also getting older, though. I would assume that Austin Hooper's probably not back next year. And like I said, with Hunter Henry also aging, you need to get that future at tight end in the building now, because we know Drake Maye loves those tight ends. He loves to operate in between the numbers. He loves those classic inline tight ends that he can target in all three phases of the field. He's always loved to target his tight ends. I think Mason Taylor would make a lot of sense here for the Patriots, getting their future guy. But we could also go with a defensive lineman and then go with like a Nesbitt in the 7th round. So chat, I'm going to kick it to you guys here. What do you guys think? Should we go Mason Taylor here at the top of the 3rd, or should we go with Jordan Phillips or Joshua Farmer, solidify the interior of that defensive line, and then get Nesbitt in the 7th round, the former teammate of Drake Maye? One more thing I actually want to check. I want to check out the corners. Darian Strong. So, I wanted to trade down with this 3rd round, but I also really like Kobe Bryant. Maybe we could trade down a few spots. I don't know if we're going to get back into the 4th, though. Kobe Bryant is another guy that I really, really like that I am going to target. And it's raining outside. My window's open. That's good. But let's see what the chat's saying. Trey, we got Trey Harris in the last mock draft, so we're not going to take him in this one. Ooh. I think everybody's saying something different. Mason Taylor is the best player available. But Negan said if a tight end can't block, then it's a hard pass. So I'll read you guys what PFF has to say about him, because I just gave you my thoughts, but PFF, they'll have different thoughts about him. He's 6'5", 255 pounds. Taylor is young and could still be growing into his talent and, more importantly, his strength. In his current form, he's a tight end 2 to tight end 3 candidate, more of a move tight end, detached from the line of scrimmage as a receiver. But if he gets stronger, he can be a more versatile and consistent contributor. The pro comp that I had for him during our show Draftaholics on Roundtable Sports main YouTube channel is that I saw him as a Mike Gesicki, a guy who is a receiving threat, but he's not going to offer much for you as a blocker. Let me see, though. So we could also go Ozzy Trapillo here. He has experience at left tackle, but he also has experience over the last 2 years as a right tackle. Mike Vrabel was just at the Boston College Pro Day along with Elliott Wolf. You also know, because of his connections back to the Teapot, his name's escaping me right now, but I know his nickname, Bill O'Brien, right? Yeah, Bill O'Brien. Because of the connections back to him, Ozzy Trapillo and really anybody from Boston College would make a ton of sense for the Patriots. If you want to double down at tackle, you want to get a guy who can be versatile on both sides, but also maybe get your future at right tackle. If you think that Caden Wallace can't be that guy, then Ozzy Trapillo would make a ton of sense here. And he is the best tackle left on the board, so we would still be going best player available. By the way, for everyone saying that we should go Wyatt Milam, I'm a big Wyatt Milam fan. We went Wyatt Milam in the last mock draft, so we're not going to go Wyatt Milam again. But it looks like everybody's interested in Ozzy Trapillo. So everybody wants to double down on the O-line. Guys, I've never been so proud of you. Like, in my entire life, I've never been so proud of the comment section for actually wanting to double down and take care of the offensive line. So damn proud of you guys. I think we still need to address the interior at some point. But Ozzy Trapillo to the New England Patriots, I like that move. All right, let's wait to the Patriots' next pick. We're not going to trade up. All right, so let's see who's still on the board. Oh, we got Deon Walker still on the board. That could be a good pick, but again, we have one team willing to trade down all the way to 139, so we would have no more third-round picks, but we would be getting a fourth. Tez Johnson, I'm good. I like Deon Walker. Isaiah Bond could give the Patriots that fast receiver on the outside, but we already got Egbuka. I don't think we need to double down on receiver. I like Aeneas Peebles, but I think he's more of like a fifth-round pick. We got Kobe Bryant. I wouldn't mind getting a depth cornerback because the Patriots do need depth at corner. They also need more of like a slot cornerback. Kobe Bryant could fill that role. We could also get our tight end and go with Gunnar Helm. Now, Gunnar Helm has some upside as a receiving threat, but he also is a much better blocker than Mason Taylor, a more well-rounded tight end. My pro comp for him was the tight end from the Steelers, Pat Freiermuth. Pat Freiermuth was my pro comp for Gunnar Helm. So we could also go that direction. We could also look at the interior because that's not unrealistic either. Everybody likes Willie Lampkin. I don't love him. I mean, a 5'11", 290-pound guard to me doesn't make sense. Now, maybe he could be a center. That size for a center doesn't concern me as much, but I think Patriots fans are falling more in love with Willie Lampkin because he played with Drake Maye and not necessarily because he's going to make the team better. I'm a big Seth McLaughlin fan as the future center. He's probably not going to play for you in 2025, but he could be the future center for you. If he wasn't injured, he would have been like a third-round pick. But again, do we want him right here? No. So we're going to wait on Seth McLaughlin. I say we either trade down or we go Deion Walker or Kobe Bryant. So, chat, I'm going to kick it to you guys. Do we want to go Kobe Bryant? This is a cornerback out of Kansas from the Jayhawks. He's 6'1", 175 pounds. This past season, when targeted, he allowed a passer rating of 62.7. He had 4 interceptions, so he's a bit more of a ball hawk. Also had 4 interceptions in 2023. He's good in zone with the 77.1 overall grade. He allowed a 54.3% completion percentage, but also good in man, 68.6% man coverage grade, but also an elite run defender with a 91.3 overall run defensive grade. This is a guy that screams a Mike Vrabel fit. Screams Mike Vrabel fit. So this is where I'm going to kick it to you guys. Do you guys want to go Kobe Bryant, or do you want to go Deion Walker, or make a trade with the Vikings? All right, we got one Kobe Bryant, one Walker. Oh, we got a lot of Walker. All right, Walker it is. Ooh, Walker it is. By the way, just for reference, Walker is an absolute dog. Saw this guy at the Senior Bowl. He is a monster, an absolute monster in the interior of the D-line, like towers over offensive linemen. This guy is 6'6", 345 pounds, and he's only 21. Like, this is a guy that comes in and solidifies your interior of the defensive line. You got Jack Sawyer, you got Deion Walker, and I think if they make both of these moves, you feel very confident if you're a Patriots fan about your defensive line moving forward. But this is what PFF has to say about him. They say Walker's measurements will jump out immediately, but his play on the field doesn't match the dominance suggested on paper. I slightly disagree, but they also do have a point. He's a versatile defender, a versatile defensive lineman due to his height and length, but needs more precision in his pass rush and must hold his ground more consistently to be more than a rotational player. He had a 10.3 pass rush win rate this past season, so still fits that mold of a guy who can get to the quarterback like Mike Vrabel likes, but also a big body to stop the run with an above average run stopping rate of 6.6%. He had 4 sacks this past season, 8 in 2023. He had 0 quarterback hits, but 18 quarterback hurries and 3 batted passes. Honestly, was a lot more dominant in 2023 when he had 8 sacks, 4 quarterback hits, 39 pressures, and 1 batted pass. We kicked it to the chat. You guys wanted Deion Walker to solidify the defensive line, and that is where the Patriots go. Hey, man, heavily addressing the trenches. This is not unrealistic. But we're going to speed this up now because the Patriots don't have a 4th rounder, and I don't think we should trade back up. A lot of good quarterbacks still on the board, but I'm only going quarterback as high as the 6th. It's depth where we lacked 100%. 100%. The Patriots need depth on the defensive line, and for anybody that's going to argue with the Deion Walker pick, saying, well, why would you do that? You got Milton Williams. Christian Barmore, we got great news about him. He's expected to come back for the offseason training process. Hopefully all is good with him and we get him back. But the Philadelphia Eagles, they're a beautiful blueprint on why you want depth there. You don't just want good starters, you want good depth. Why? Because that keeps your trenches playing at a high level throughout the entire game. When an opposing offensive line is getting tired, when an opposing offense is getting tired, you have enough good defensive linemen to rotate through to play at a high level with a high motor all game. The Philadelphia Eagles are a beautiful blueprint on why you want several good defensive linemen. But all right, where are we at? All right, let's look here. So we went wide receiver. We went tackle, we went edge, we went tackle again, and then we went defensive lineman. I think we should look at running back here, but we'll see who's on the board ultimately, but I do think we should look at running back. Wait, hold up. Did my guy go off the board? I'm scared he might have. So Gunnar Helms off. Savion Jones, Quez Hunter, Willie Lampkin went in the 5th. Okay, tell me my boys here. Tell me my boys here. Okay, yes. Let's go. Okay, we still got him. And in the 5th round, I would love this value. I do think the Patriots are going to go running back from just how Mike Vrabel and Elliott Wolf are talking. It just sounds like they will be adding depth there at running back at some point. It wouldn't shock me if they take a running back higher. That's just not how our board personally fell. I think we go Trevor Etienne here. I think we get a developmental guy. At the very worst, he's a situational running back, and the Patriots get to add more running back depth. They get to reestablish that running back depth, for lack of better words, on the practice squad. And that's what the Patriots need, right? I don't know about you guys, but I'm done with the Kevin Harris experiment. That guy isn't someone you can rely on if he needs to be promoted to the active roster. He's had so many years in training camp, so many years in the preseason to make a name for himself, and he hasn't. I think Trevor Etienne can be someone who makes a name for himself, even though he is a little bit raw. For those wondering, yes, his brother is Travis Etienne, who was selected in the 1st round by the Jags. But 5'9", 205 pounds. Size does not really matter to me when it comes to running back. Really, those guys just need good blockers. They'll be fine. Sometimes being small actually helps them. He's also still very young, still very much a developmental prospect at only 20 years old. But PFF says that Etienne won't be an every down back like his older brother, but he has an elite burst and quickness for the position. I think that he would be a perfect situational change of pace, complementary running back to Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson. You know, we have guys that can run through a brick wall, that can put their arm down and run through a guy, get yards after the contact, but we don't have a guy on the roster right now that is going to come in and be able to bounce off a 40, 50-yard run easily because of how fast he gets off the line when a defense is tired. That change of pace back to where the defense is used to Ramondre Stevenson putting his shoulder down and running through them. Next thing you know, you got Trevor Etienne running through the middle, going 21 miles an hour. That change of pace back does make a massive difference, and we saw that Josh McDaniels loved his running back by committee. He didn't love one specific guy. So I think Etienne could be a starter for the Patriots, and maybe not a starter, but maybe more of like that Rex Burkhead type of role where he gets a few carries every game as that change of pace role. PFF also says that he could thrive in a complementary option in a zone scheme, which we know the Patriots are going to run, and showed at the Senior Bowl that he may have more receiving upside in the NFL than he did in college. They also said that while he isn't a first-round talent, I think we said that, they said, however, the size likely limits his ability to be an effective downhill runner or a reliable pass protector. Again, we're not looking for a number 1 running back. We're just looking for a change of pace guy, complementary piece, and I think that Etienne can be that. So I really like this pick here for the Patriots. I know a lot of people like Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon was at the Senior Bowl. Let me tell you, I was there with the rest of the guys from Roundtable Sports, Richie, Dan, my boy Dosa Dion, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, look at this dude in front of me right now. I look down at my paper and I'm like, who is this? It's Ollie freaking Gordon. I looked up the measurables because I wanted to see just how big he was. His measurables are very, very similar to Derrick Henry. Now, I don't think he's going to be Derrick Henry. Ollie Gordon didn't have a great Senior Bowl. He didn't have a very good combine. I think people love him for his size overall. But he's going to be a bully. He's going to be a bully, but you need to be more than just a big body that's hard to bring down to be a good running back. But all right, we're here in the 7th round, and I think that this is where you're just starting to take shots, essentially. I do think the Patriots do need to go kicker here at some point. They could potentially go quarterback also, especially in the 7th. We know that the Elliott Wolf, Ron Wolf way is to take a quarterback, especially if they trade Joe Milton. If they don't plan on trading him, then okay. But if they do plan on trading him, then adding somebody like Brady Cook would make a ton of sense. 6'2", 215 pounds. They don't got too much on him. Not very good under pressure. But again, for a guy in the 7th round, who's very, very smart, turnover-worthy play rate was only 1%. That was first in the nation. It could make a lot of sense for the Patriots to go quarterback. Again, kind of recycling that position. And for those wondering, why would you go quarterback? You got Josh Dobbs. You got Drake Maye. You got Joe Milton. These are the same people that asked that question last year. You got Drake Maye. Why did you draft Joe Milton? You got Jacoby Brissett as your quarterback too. You take a quarterback in the late rounds every single year, because if they hit like Joe Milton, then you're swapping a 6th, 7th round pick for potentially a 3rd, 2nd round pick. Maybe at worst a 4th. You can swap those picks and use those picks as better value picks to build your team overall. Essentially what you're doing is turning that 6th, 7th round pick to, again, a 2nd, 3rd round pick. So I'm not against going Brady Cook here, but I also do want to look at the kickers. Let's see. I didn't even know the Patriots started the 7th round. How about that? There is one kicker that the Patriots have been heavily linked back to, so I am going to take him in this mock draft, but am I going to take him here? That's the question. So the kicker that I'm looking for is Andres Borregales out of Miami. The Patriots have been linked back to him. They were at his pro day. Actually was a pretty good kicker. He was looking pretty good too. The only thing you don't love is play to Miami. So is he going to be able to transition to the weather? But we'll probably take him with one of our later 7th round picks. Another guy that I want to go after is Bryson Nesbitt, but we could probably get him with one of our later 7th round picks also. So we never went interior of the O-line, though. It's one thing I don't like, because I do think they will draft a guy on the interior. Maybe Joshua Gray. He has experience at left tackle and left guard. That's where the Patriots would need him, would be over at left guard. So maybe we go Joshua Gray here. How about Jackson Slater? I mean, we could also go Jackson Slater. I wouldn't be mad about this. Jackson Slater is a full-time left guard, has some experience at left tackle. Honestly, I'm thinking we go Jackson Slater here and just try to take a shot in the interior of the offensive line. You need a starting left guard. Can we pull a Michael Onwenu here? I know Onwenu was a 6th round pick, but beginning of the 7th, we work some magic. Let's find out. Best player available. All right, back up on the board here immediately. And I know exactly where I'm going to go. I'm going to go tight end. We haven't taken a tight end, as you can see. And I'm going to go with Bryson Nesbitt. Now, some people might say that Bryson Nesbitt is going to be a UDFA, and maybe he will. When you reach round 6 to 7, you're just taking guys that you like and you think maybe they can be something. You're also in the 6th and 7th round taking guys that you do not want to have to compete as a UDFA. Because a lot of times UDFAs are actually making more money than 6th and 7th round picks, believe it or not, because there's multiple teams that have to compete, money-wise to go ahead and get those guys. But Bryson Nesbitt is a former player at North Carolina. He did play with Drake Maye. In 2022, he had the 2nd most receptions by Drake Maye. So we know Drake Maye loves those big body tight ends. Bryson Nesbitt is a guy that's going to come in, probably not ever going to be your tight end 1, but can he be a tight end 2? Can he be a tight end 3? Can he work that magic with Drake Maye? What I'll say too is that I thought he had a pretty good combine. I thought that his 3-cone drill looked really good. I thought he looked quick. I thought he looked elusive. I don't think he's going to bring much for you as a blocker, but in the 7th round, can you just get a receiving threat that you already know can be on the same page as Drake Maye? What I will say too is that, without Drake Maye as his quarterback, he fell off, which means that to me, Drake Maye made him look like a better player. He had an overall PFF grade in 2022 with Drake Maye of 78. In 2023 with Drake Maye, he had a PFF grade of 72.3. With Drake Maye in 2022, he put up 4 total touchdowns and 507 yards. With Drake Maye in 2023, he put up 5 receiving touchdowns and 585 yards. This past season, without Draco, He had 264 yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. So again, this is a guy that you're just kind of hoping you strike some magic with in the 7th round by going Bryson Nesbitt. All right, and the final pick here for me, this one's pretty easy. Like I said, I do want to go kicker. I don't want to have to compete. I don't want to have to worry, are we going to be able to get this guy or not? So we are going to go, and we're going to get our kicker. Ryan Fitzgerald is another guy that I wouldn't be against, but we're going to go with Andreas Borgales here. Get him on that 4-year rookie deal. Actually, would it be? Actually, I think it's lower because he'd be a 7th round pick. But nonetheless, let's get him on a rookie deal. Let's solidify our kicker, and let's bring in some competition for, who is it, Parker Ramos that we have? It's like the only kicker we have on the roster right now. Because, you know, what's his face signed with another team, signed with the Titans. So let's go through this draft real quick. Don't worry about the grades. I hate looking at the grades because everybody thinks that because PFF didn't like it, now all of a sudden it's a bad draft. So what we did here first is that we traded down from 4th overall and we went down to 11. We traded with the San Francisco 49ers. What the Patriots got in return for that was a 3rd round pick 100. So again, a top 100 pick, very valuable. The Patriots got in this year's draft on top of getting a 2026 1st round pick. I don't think the 49ers are going to be very good. I think they're going to be one of the worst teams to a mid-tier team. I don't see them making the playoffs, making a run, anything like that. So the Patriots will have 2 high-end 1st-round picks next year. They trade down to 11. Thought about going Kelvin Banks, but I said, let's go receiver. We got a Mecca Egbuka from Ohio State, a guy that has a really, really high floor, a lower end ceiling, but a guy that you feel confident can be a high end, and I mean a high end wide receiver 2 to a low end wide receiver 1. Really good route tree, more of a technician. This is going to be a guy that I think would work really, really well and learn really, really well under somebody like, Stephon Diggs. Then in round 2, we traded back into, in round 2, rather, we didn't trade back in just yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. In round 2, we stayed pat at pick 38, and we got Ariante Ursary, our starting left tackle, a guy who is a little bit more better as a run blocker than he is as a pass protector. But in the 2nd round, again, you're understanding that this isn't going to necessarily be one of the best tackles in the league. You're franchise guy per se, but you like what you have, and you know that Ariante Ursary can be your day 1 starter. Then we traded back into the 2nd round. The Patriots got pick 55 from the Chargers, and they gave up a 3rd round pick and a 4th round pick to get Jack Sawyer, edge out of Ohio State, a guy that is much better in terms of pass rush, has a high motor. He can get to the quarterback, not as good, a little bit below average in stopping the run. But again, because of what the Patriots have at cornerback, at safety, on the rest of the defensive line, especially at linebacker, there's more than enough guys that can make up for his lack at stopping the run. Then in round 3, we doubled up on tackle and got Ozzie Trapillo. He's coming from Boston College. He is staying home. He's someone who can play on the left side. He's someone who can play on the right side. So someone who has a lot of versatility for the Patriots, whether things don't go well with Ariante Ursary or whether, you know, they don't think that Caden Wallace can be their future at right tackle. At the very least, Ozzie Trapillo can be your swing tackle. The Patriots do not just need starters on that O-line. They also need depth. Moving on here, their next 3rd round pick 100 that we got from the 49ers, the Patriots went the defensive line route. They got Deion Walker out of Kentucky, a 6'6", 300-pound interior defensive lineman. Again, a guy who's a bit better as a pass rusher than he is at stopping the run, but a rotational guy that would make a lot of sense in Mike Vrabel's system. Mike Vrabel was also at the Senior Bowl, so you know he saw Deion Walker popping off because Deion Walker was the talk of the town at the Senior Bowl. Now, because of our trades, we don't have a 4th round pick. So moving on to the 5th round, the Patriots went with a running back by the name of Trevor Etienne out of Georgia. For those who were wondering, yes, that is the brother of Travis Etienne, who was a 1st round pick a few years ago by the Jacksonville Jags. Really, really good change of pace running back here. He's not like your Ramondre Stevenson's, the put your shoulder down, run through a brick wall. He's fast. He's elusive. He's going to be that change of pace back that the Patriots really, really need, and has some receiving upside that has been untapped. So really like that move and that value for the Patriots. And then moving on to our 3 7th-round picks, the Patriots went best player available for the interior of the offensive line by getting Jackson Slater out of Sacramento State. Then in the 7th round, with our next pick, we got tight end Bryson Nesbitt out of North Carolina, reuniting him with Drake Maye and just seeing if there's anything they can get out of that connection. And then lastly, with our 7th round pick here, we went kicker Andreas Borgales out of Miami, just trying to get our next kicker here in New England. Again, sometimes it's just better to get those guys on rookie deals than trying to have to compete for them as UDFA. So what do you guys think about this draft? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What would you have done different? Let me know in the comment section below, and, just try not to flame me. Just try not to flame me. That's all I'm asking for, man. That's all I'm asking for. But let's go ahead and let's get back to any comments that we haven't gotten into, any super chats we haven't gotten into yet. Trey Rules comes in here, and a $5 donation says, I'd advise you to look into Walker a little bit more. Going into last season, he was slated as a first rounder. What made his draft stock drop so much? Like you said, glass half full, glass half empty. You might say he was projected as a first round pick, but his value dropped. I see it as he was almost a first round pick. So if the Patriots can get him back to being what he once was, there's excellent value. It's just like the Kayshon Boutte pick, right? Kayshon Boutte heading into 2023 was slated as a first round pick. He fell off. He ended up being a 6th round pick for the Patriots, but we all said that's good value because at one point, he had that projection. He had that ability to go higher. So if the Patriots can tap into that, that's really good value for them. My boy Tommy comes in here with a $5 donation and says, a Patriots draft isn't complete without drafting a running back. Of course, right? Because even if the Patriots, they don't think that ETN can be their future or be a starting running back for them down the line, it's just the 5th round. You're taking shots in the 5th round, and you're hoping that he can be a change of pace back. At the very worst, he's a guy that you put on the practice squad, and he can be promoted and do an effective job if he needs to start for you for a game or two. But guys, one more thing that I did want to remind you of before we log off for the day is to consider becoming a YouTube member. Again, this is something new that we are doing on the channel. If you do want to become a member, all you have to do, as you can see, come here to the channel, go to the homepage. Unfortunately, you can't do it on the YouTube app on iPhone. They haven't added it yet for whatever reason. I don't know. It just seems like a missed opportunity on YouTube side of thing. But if you want to join, go on your laptop, go on YouTube, look up Patriots Global, go to the homepage and just hit that join button. Or on your phone, you can also do this. You just have to go to Safari, type in YouTube, log in, and you will also see the same thing. You hit join here. It's only $4 a month. And what you get by joining, if it lets me scroll down here. Let me scroll down. Hello? There we go. It's $4 a month, and what you get here is that you get a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments and live chat. So if we're doing a live chat like this, you will have the Patriots Global logo next to your name. If you comment on a video, a former live stream, a YouTube community post, or a YouTube short next to your name, you will also have the Patriots Global logo next to your name. The only way to get this is by becoming a member. So you can show everybody, you can show me, you can show everybody in the comment section that you are a member and have officially joined the PG family. On top of that, you also get access to custom emojis that only members get. As you see, you get the Patriots Global iconic face here. So for those of you who know me from the AFC East Roundtable or TikTok, you know exactly what that is. We also have the Patriots Global logo, iconic also. We got Mike Vrabel swapped to the New England Patriots in a Patriots uni. And then we also have, of course, Drake Maye. The more members we get, the more emojis that YouTube will allow us to add. So become a member, allow us to add more emojis. I got some really cool ideas. I'll add some of me in different emotions. So when we're doing like live watch parties upcoming season, I'll add one of me pissed off. You guys can spam pissed off Patriots Global face. I think that'd be cool. But on top of that, you also get member shoutouts and you get priority reply to comments. So consider becoming a member. It helps me. It helps support the channel tremendously. And you guys get some benefits from doing so. Want to thank those of you who did become members today, Luke and Mick Goat. We are going to be doing a giveaway of the New England Patriots official draft hat. The way that you would ultimately be in the mix for this draft hat, for this giveaway, would be by becoming a YouTube member or by gifting memberships to someone. Each membership that you gift counts as one entry. So if you gift 3 memberships, That's 3 entries for you, but we'll talk about that a little bit more down the line. Want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode here on Patriots Global, another New England Patriots 7-round mock draft. Make sure you guys let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. And of course, make sure you check out Mock Draft 1.0 that everybody absolutely flamed, where we made no trades. Leave a big like on your way out. But of course, as always, I'm Colby Cochran, logging off.